Hello and welcome to GSF Podcasts, sponsored by the Gary Sinise Foundation's Education and Outreach Initiative, aiming to educate the public on the importance of serving America's veterans, first responders, and their families.
Welcome to the Gary Sinise Foundation podcast. I'm your host, Cristin Snyder, and today we are thrilled to have country music star Craig Morgan join us. Not only is Craig known for his chart-topping hits and heartfelt songwriting, but he also serves in the U.S. Army Reserves and is celebrated for his dedication to our nation's heroes, both in uniform and through his philanthropic efforts. Welcome, Craig.
Thank you.
We're so glad you could finally be here.
Me too.
We've been working on it and
for a while.
It all worked out perfectly. So thank you. Thank you so much for making the time.
Well, thank you.
Really appreciate it. All right, so we're going to start. Let's talk music. It's usually a long and hard and arduous journey to get to where you are in the country music world. But you did things a little bit differently. But I have to ask, did anybody inspire you to become a country star? Like, who was that?
I don't know if anyone inspired me to be a country star. I don't think that's something that I aspired to be.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't really. And I know that sounds, I don't want to sound ungrateful.
Everybody starts when they're 4.
Yeah, I'm extremely humbled to be where I'm at. I love writing songs. That's what I wanted to do, was write songs.
Okay.
That's what turned into where I'm at today.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I was never that confident in even my writing, much less my singing. I was in the military and in the Army, and I was writing songs, and my buddies and friends and family were a whole lot more, I think, confident in my ability than I ever was. And I knew what a difficult job, as you just alluded to, that it is.
Yeah.
But, you know, I do believe God had a plan, and that's why I'm here. It's His plan, not mine.
Oh, I love. So it was others who were kind of pushing you and letting you know that
you're
good.
And that doesn't mean that there weren't people that inspired me, for sure. I mean, my dad was a big inspiration. My dad was a musician, played in Nashville, just a phenomenal musician, singer, writer. And in the music world, the likes of John Conley, a musician, one of my favorite all-time singers ever, who is now a friend, which is really weird when your phone rings and you look down and it's like John Conley, you know. But it wasn't to be a star that these people, that I felt pushed. It was to be successful and impacting. Yeah. That's what I felt. You know, listen to the music by the likes of James Taylor and Lionel Richie and Merle Haggard and Gene Watts and all of these different mixes of music that I listened to. They all told great stories. And that's what I wanted to do if I were going to be in this business.
I love that. Okay, so if you were, I know this might be difficult, if you were, let's say, stuck on an island and you had one song that you could listen to.
Yeah, that's difficult.
One.
That I had to listen to?
Yep. And it's,
my ADD wouldn't allow that. I'm a creative guy, so I'd write a new one.
Okay.
And I'd learn to play. I'd make bongos or something out of a tree or something.
That is genius. Actually, that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm never thinking about that one thing. I'm just not built that way.
Yeah.
I would have to continue moving and writing. And
I love that. Okay, well let's take it way back. We'll come back to music in a bit. But when and how did you meet Gary?
Oh, I'm trying to think of the very first time.
I know your guys' paths.
Well, see,
constantly. You were always in the same
We've
mission.
kind of been crossing paths
Yeah.
throughout time. But I, like a lot of people, met Gary through movies and TV. That's where I met Gary, and felt like I've always felt something. And this is I gotta not sound too weird here. Like I felt like I knew Gary, and outside of even the characters that he was playing, Gary has this aura about him. And I'm sure you guys all know this and see this on a regular basis. But as an outsider, I seen it, and it wasn't necessarily the characters that he was playing when he was on TV or in the movies. But I always felt like he had something special as far as a human being. And honestly, those are the people that I want to meet, and those are the people that I want to be around and affiliate with and call friends, not the pretentious other people.
Yeah, no, I cannot.
But as far as actually personally meeting him, I think I met him at a show, a USO event or something like that. And I'm pretty sure we were probably introduced by a very, very loud lady we know called Pam Swan.
We love her.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah,
we love her. She's loud though.
She just
very loud.
She makes things happen.
But she does make things happen, and I love that about her. And she has I love that she's got no walls, and her story is a beautiful story. And her husband is an awesome man. Her family, just good people.
John, yep.
I think she might have had something to do with Gary and I
have no doubt.
meeting.
I have no doubt about that. She's good at that.
Yes, she is.
She's like a little magician when it comes to those things. Okay, so can you tell me, why did you start supporting GSF? How did that come to be?
Oh, the mission.
Yeah.
It's simple. When you see what Gary's doing, and what I love about what the Gary Sinise Foundation is doing, is they're not focused solely on, the one thing that they're focused on is veterans and military. It's not one single selective mission. They're supporting a lot of different missions that are supporting our military and our veterans. And I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
What it says is they're not focused on themselves and trying to, I tell people, donors especially, the Gary Sinise Foundation represents what I think a true foundation. They're not out to seek plaques and trophies. They're out to take care of people. Yeah. And that's the big difference. There's a lot of organizations that worry more about putting plaques on their walls than they do the mission itself.
Right.
And that's not what the Gary Sinise Foundation does.
No. He was getting a lot of advice to just focus on one thing. And he's like, I can't do that. I just can't do that. And he'd been supporting so many people over the decades prior to creating the foundation. He just knew the needs were so vast. And so that's why at the end of a mission statement it's, and those in need. Because he wanted to have that flexibility to just, to do whatever. And that's just so interesting that you say it that way, because that's really at the heart of who he is.
Yeah, it is.
Sense. Okay. Let's take this way back. Let's go to the beginning back in a way. So many people know you as a country music star, but I want to go further back to that, which is, why did you join the Army as a young man?
I was born in a lower middle class family in Middle Tennessee and sought something bigger and greater than myself. And I knew I would get free hunting clothes.
Stop.
Camouflage clothes,
The perks, the bennies are high.
3 meals a day, and then basic training. No, the reality was I was in college at the time, and that wasn't, I wasn't suited for that at that particular time in my life. And I just truly did want to do and be a part of something that was bigger than just anything that I could do in that little town that I was in.
Yeah. And so what did you do in the Army?
So I was a forward observer, 13 Fox. We were the guys that call for and direct any indirect fire weapon system. So any bullet that's shot into the battlefield from a weapon system that can't see where they're firing the bullet, there has to be someone on the ground to tell them where to put the bullet. That's what I did. So that's naval gunfire, close air support, artillery, mortars, anything that's not fired to the target and you can see the target. So if you're shooting a gun, you can see it. If you're shooting an artillery piece, you have no idea where the bullet's landing. Somebody's got to tell you where to put that bullet. That's what we did.
So you're out there.
Yeah, we're in front of the guys
You're
in
front of the, exactly.
Yeah.
This
is why I can't hear. There's this term called danger close. I said that a lot.
Oh my goodness.
But, you know, I mean, that's part
there's
of the
the
job.
front lines, and then there's this secret spider, like secret front lines, and you're up there in the
We
front
were in
fronts.
front. We worked with the infantry, and we were usually with the scouts. And if there was any of the special operations teams that go out in front of everybody, that we had to, someone was there who called for fire, and that's what I did. It was one of the greatest jobs, in my opinion. It's the greatest job in the Army.
I mean, you're in the thick of it.
We were allowed to do a lot on our own.
Got it. Yeah, freedom.
We had a lot of freedom, but we had to have that freedom in order to be able to accomplish the mission.
Right.
You know, it was so funny. I tell people in my initial career in the Army, I spent my career in an occupation where if someone knew who I was, where I was, or what I was doing, then I was failing at my mission. And now I'm in an occupation, if someone doesn't know who I am, where I am, or what I'm doing, I'm failing at my mission.
Something's wrong, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the full circle, kind of. And so what kind of training did you have to do?
Oh, I did it all. I mean,
All of it.
yeah. From escape and evasion, airborne, air assault, you name
Holy
it.
smokes. And during that time, you were playing.
I did a little, looking back, I didn't do much. I didn't do any playing or writing much in basic and AIT. And we're talking about early.
Right.
But I did sing cadence. And got a lot of attention for singing cadence. So that every time we went out to run, the drill sergeant would have me sing
Pick
cadence.
you out and say, okay.
So then I went through airborne school, and in airborne school I was singing cadence because everybody told them I could sing cadence. And every evening it wasn't like basic and AIT. We had free time, so I had a guitar and I would write. And I started writing this song. Someone told me that the test platoon was going to have a banquet at Fort Benning while we were going through airborne school. The test platoon were the first jumpers ever to jump out of an airplane. Red King, who was the first enlisted man to ever jump. Leonard B. Scott, who wrote the book Charlie Mike about Vietnam. He was the commander of the airborne school at the time. They found out that I was there singing cadence and writing this song, and they come in and made me play the song for them. And they said, you're going to finish this song and sing it at the banquet. I know it's hard to believe this stuff actually happened.
So you're voluntold. Get out. You're doing this.
It's in my book. It's a true story. So I thought I was getting over it because every day at the beginning of the day they would say, Cadet Greer, come up here.
Yeah.
And so I would go up there and they would say, oh, we got tower today. You're going to do your 3. They would run me to the front of the line. I would do my tower jumps, front of the line, do my tower jump, front of the line. And they would say, get your guitar, go to the White House and finish the song.
Stop.
So I thought, I'm getting over, man. This is awesome. I ended up singing the song at the test platoon's banquet. Red King was there. When we did our final jump, the 5th jump from airborne school, Red King and Charlie Mike gave me my blood wings. My parents weren't able to come. So Red King, the first enlisted man ever to jump out of an airplane, pounded my wings into my chest.
Get out.
I know, right? I mean,
You can't
it's
even
a
make it
history.
up.
It's a moment in history. And I was there. I was part of that craziness. And then they said, you can do anything you want. What do you want to do? I'm like, I want to be a black hat. I want to be an instructor at Fort Benning, Georgia. What I didn't know was as a E3, you can't do that. So they sent me to Ranger School, the Ranger Indoctrination Program.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They're like, here you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here, you get to do this instead.
Oh my goodness. Okay, and so then let's kind of flash forward a little bit. You, after a break in service, because this has been recently, you publicly re-enlisted in the Army at the age of 59 at the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
Why? What inspired you to do that?
A couple things, like a lot of service members, I really, in the military, and I can't speak on behalf of all branches, but I'm fairly confident it's the same. If you don't retire under some circumstance, whether it be medical or time served or whatever, and you finish your enlistment and you leave, you don't get a letter that says, hey, thank you for your service to your country. You don't get a retirement letter. You don't get anything. And I had 17 and a half years. And I got no letter. So I always kind of felt a little regret in the sense that I didn't finish and get that letter that says you retired from service to the United States Army. So I wanted to do that. And I knew that if I had there was an age limit. And in order for me to complete my service, to get my 20 years, I had to enlist within a very short time there. So I made the decision to do it. And the other reason I did it, at the time, Army recruiting was at an all-time low. And I had some friends that were serving in the military that were like, you could be a positive influence on people serving. And maybe if you did go back in, because I'd asked them about it. They said, if you did go back in, you could help with recruiting, you could do these kind of things. I'm like, I would absolutely love it. And we did it.
Oh,
here we are.
How was it received?
The enlistment was very well received, I think. We'll say, and I'm going to be honest, I'm sure that there were naysayers and people out there that thought, oh, he's a country music singer, he don't have to do the stuff. But when I went back in, just like any other recruit coming into the Army, whether the initial enlistment or re-enlisting or whatever, I had to pass my ACFT, the Army Combat Fitness Test. I had to pass a full physical just like everybody else. And ironically enough, I was in better shape there than I was when I got out. My goal was not to pass my ACFT. I wanted to be able to max it because I didn't want anyone to ever have the ability to say that they did me favors.
Oh yeah.
So I did. I came, and I didn't max it, but I came so close that confident that I can max it now that I know, more about I was so excited about taking the test and maxing it because I'm a runner. I'm like, this is a no-brainer. I got this, and I got all the stuff that you have to use and when we were on the road touring, I would take the things out with me and go through the test. I would do all the exercises that were required. I'm like, I'm smoking this thing. But what I wasn't doing was doing them one right after another.
Oh,
so one day I would work on the dead carry, and the next day I would run, and I ran every day.
Yep.
So I thought, I don't need to worry about the run because I'm smoking the run, especially for my age group. But when it came time to do it, by the time it got to the run, I had smoked myself on everything.
No.
Yeah, and so I barely, if you score 100 on the run, I missed it by like 4 points or something.
Oh, dang, but that's so impressive.
Close. I was so close.
Oh, my goodness.
It's not really that impressive when you look at the requirements for my age group.
Okay, so I want to ask about that, though, so here you are going back in, and I mean, when we go and travel at different military bases, I look at these young bucks, and I go, I remember, was I that young? Did I look like that when I was, in? And how is it? How is it now?
It's good. I mean, I will tell you, it's really good today. I feel wonderful about where we're at. I feel like we have such a renewed sense of confidence in our service members can display that. There have been difficult moments, like I said, with recruiting at its all-time low. But when I go talk to the young men and women, even when I first went back in, they're proud of what they're doing. And that has always been my statement to them. Be proud. In spite of anything that you hear or see out there, you should be proud of your service. And you're serving your country. You're serving for your fellow man. You're serving for your fellow soldiers. Do not let any political ideologies eliminate your pride in your service. Try to maintain that. And they were very much and still are very proud of their service.
I can imagine how deeply felt that would be, especially in the fog of all of it and all the crazy. It's like just.
And I get picked on a lot with them too. Especially, the younger guys like, oh, the uniforms ain't like that no more. But then I say, oh, I know. I eat it up and say, let's go run.
PT? Let's go.
I'm running PT with you today. And I go out with them and I show them, and it's like I love when I seen Secretary of Defense Hegseth out running with the soldiers. I think it's important that we as the elders in this occupation help maintain and set standards. It gives them confidence to know that, we're just as proud of our service and we're proud of their service, and we work together. Yeah.
Okay, so how has your experience in the Army influenced your music and your career?
Like any other occupation in life, as a songwriter, I pull from things that have happened in my life. Having served in the military for so long and experienced various cultures all around the world, I think I may have a little more to draw from than a 20-year-old kid who recently graduated high school and is a frat boy at his college. And I'm not making fun of them.
No.
I'm just saying they have a limited vocabulary, so to speak, to draw from.
Right.
I have a lot, because I've done that and shot bad guys. You've done so a lot to draw from, and I've experienced hardships and seen hardships, and I think that's what makes a great song, are those experiences. And I think, I'm not saying anything out of turn. I think they would attest to the same thing. They would tell you they're limited as to what they can actually sell.
Right.
But I love it all. And there's no question that is definitely added. But I would go as far as to say, any occupation offers you that. Anyone who's been in an occupation for an extended period of time, they have life experiences that they're able to draw from.
Yeah.
The one thing that the Army gave me that I have taken with me in everything that I've ever done is a sense of humility and gratitude, because I have experienced some of these third world countries to a degree that a lot of people can't even fathom. They can't even, pictures and reading a book or seeing a movie or a TV show doesn't do it justice.
No, it doesn't.
The magnitude of deficit that they experience. So having witnessed and experienced all that, every day for me is a blessing. Every day that I get to continue to do this business is a blessing. I keep waiting for people to tell me to quit.
No, never going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, another song, please, more songwriting. You help people feel, and it's connected. So
I don't take that for granted, but like I said, and being on time,
it's very true. It becomes ingrained in you.
And my wife's the opposite. Oh, they expect me to be late. Like, no.
They expect.
No, I won't be with you if you're going to be late. I don't want to be affiliated with being late.
Okay, so did you experience any challenges in your transition from the military to the music world?
Every day.
Every day?
Still working on it.
Really?
Yeah, still difficult.
How so?
Well, like I said, I spent most of my life, my adult life, trying to avoid people finding out who I was and what I was doing. That was my job. So if someone said, "Oh, we heard you were there," I'm like, "Oh, how did you know that?" And now they go, "Are you the guy?" Oh, yeah. See, it's difficult, and I'm just not I know I'm the guy out in front of the band. They call us front men, I'm the guy out there in the front. I know my name is on the marquee, but I'm a team player. I still find that very difficult to deal with. And I'm not trying to be the all shucks guy. I'm not saying that. No. I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm so humble or whatever, but it's difficult. Like walking through the airport sometimes and people staring. It's like, you for a minute, I have forgotten, oh, that's right. This is what I do.
They do recognize you.
Yeah.
It's not that they're just staring. It's like, blessing. Oh, yeah, they recognize.
That's a blessing. Yeah. And I'm not the guy, when people come up and say, I love that song or this means a lot to me, I'm grateful for that. But it's still a little awkward for me. I still feel awkward being that guy after this many years.
This many years.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been doing it for
25 years now.
Holy smokes, and still.
I know.
Still, you're like, me? Are you sure?
I mean, when they called me the other day after we did an appearance on television, and the new song, they were telling me the statistics on the new song. I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me.
No.
But also on the flip side of that, when I go do a show and someone comes up who's 18 years old and goes, man, Almost Home is my favorite song, favorite country song ever. I'm like, that song's older than you, I think. And they go, yeah, I had no idea you were in the Army. Like, how do you know me and my music and not know that I was in the Army? But it is what it is.
It is. That's how it goes.
And that's how it goes.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. I'm comfortable with that.
And you're kind of getting in their lives when it's needed.
Yeah, I read people's lips. So it's so funny to be standing there singing like Redneck Yacht Club and then do That's What I Love About Sunday and then do Almost Home. And they go, I can read the lips and they go, I didn't know he sang that song. Like, wow. Yeah, you didn't know.
While you're performing?
I had a t-shirt made up one time and it had like 18 song titles that were all top 10 hits. And it said, Craig Morgan, the guy who sings.
Oh,
and it
that's
listed the
good. I'm sure it would have blown people's, what?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah, we sold a lot of those.
Songwriting, though, you're gifted. You are gifted. It's something that's a part of you.
Like I said in the beginning, this wasn't my chosen path. This was God's choice.
Yeah.
This is where He wants me to be. I know that because if anybody didn't deserve it, I felt like it was me. And if anybody's, thought about other things a million times, it was me. But I also, like I said, I'm so grateful and so humbled and thankful.
It's like you come from a place of service. It's a way of giving back.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I would much rather run into a house that's on fire and drag someone out than stand on stage.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't want a reward or a newspaper article written about me for doing that. It's the gratification of having done something like that. That's what fills my cup.
Impacting others. Yeah. You've got a legacy of it. So as you know, this podcast is in honor of Gary's son, Mac, who we lost in January of 2024. And it was important to Gary to resurrect and revive this podcast because this was a project that Mac started before he died. And so one thing that Gary has said a number of times is service is a great healer. And this podcast in a way is, Mac's serving, and it's his way of giving back to, and it's just so deeply connected to him. And so you too have experienced unimaginable loss and with your son, Jerry. And so would you agree with the sentiments of that? And do you mind sharing?
Oh, I don't mind at all. Absolutely. When you lose a child, it's so, and I have to be real careful. Everyone experiences loss differently. Even Gary who's lost a child, and I've lost a child. Not far different in age, both very young men. Our experiences are different. Our loss is felt differently. But what I can tell you is that loss is extremely different than any other loss. I've lost my mom, but the pain, it's a different pain in losing a parent, at least for me. And I don't ever pretend to know someone else's pain in their loss. But what I do know, no matter the loss, the memories that were to come are no more. So we celebrate those memories that they have. I have 4 other children, and we continue to make memories with them. But Jerry's memories are all we have. We don't get to make new memories with Jerry outside of doing something like this. So we're keeping those old memories alive by doing like this podcast, and we have Jerry Lake, Alaska. We have a business up there
I wanted to ask
dedicated
about that.
to his name. And we create new memories through Jerry's memory.
Exactly.
So I think it's imperative that we do that. A lot of people, I guess it's so hard for them to talk about their lost loved ones that they just won't do it. For me, it is difficult, but it's imperative that we do it because it just keeps him a part of our lives. Even though Jerry's not present, he's still very much present in our lives and a part of our lives. So, I mean, it is what it is. And that's hard. And I think I wish more people would grasp the understanding and the hold on to those opportunities to keep those memories alive. Because the less you talk about it, the further away those memories get.
Okay, so you mentioned Jerry Lake, Alaska. Can you share about that?
It's a business. I never intended for that place to be a business. I got to be honest.
Really?
It was a family. I bought the place unbeknownst to my wife. I bought property, built a log cabin, everything without her knowing anything about it.
Stop.
I kept it hid from
and
her.
you're still alive?
Yeah. I didn't think she would really like the place because in the winter it's extremely cold, but she fell in love with it, and it became a wonderful place of solitude, quiet. And my son has this term with our business that I adhere to this day. Sometimes you have to disconnect to reconnect.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't mean like this. You literally have to separate yourself from some things sometimes in order to reconnect with those things.
100%.
It may be people, it may be whatever. But what it is, our business, we took what was a family place and turned it into our opportunity for us to introduce people to the off-grid living lifestyle and the, again, separating yourself. We're in the bush in Alaska. We're about 7 miles from the closest road, 45 miles to the closest store, 3.5 hours from the closest Walmart.
Get it. Wait, the first one threw me off. 7 miles to the closest road.
Oh yeah, you can't drive a 4-wheeler to where we're at. Yeah, you can't even drive you must have an amphibious or a tracked vehicle in order to get to us or fly in. Or in the winter, we snow machine in. And what we have found is that everyone who comes out there, we bring very small groups, 4 to 6 people.
Okay.
The only groups that we allow larger groups are veterans. We'll take up to 8 veterans at a time, just because I can talk to them. And I don't allow any of them to have guns. So, but what we learn is that the solitude in that environment, and we tell people it's the most beautiful and brutal environment that you can ever experience at the same time. You can experience both of those things at the very same time. 20 below zero, standing on a frozen lake that the ice is 36 inches thick on a sunny day, and see Mount McKinley or Denali Mountain, however you refer to it, to be able to see that, and you're freezing, and yet it's an emotional experience. And everything that you do there has that exact same effect. So we invite people there to come and experience that. And again, disconnect from society for long enough for yourself to appreciate the air, and good food and good company. And we do a lot of activities. We do a lot of things there. We go in the winter. We do snowshoeing, cross country skiing, we snow machining. We snow machine from our place on trails all the way to Denali, all the way there, like a 40-mile trek. We have lunch up near the mountain, and then snow machine all the way back. We have a 4-course meal every night with actual plates and silverware, not paper plates. It's not a camping trip, but you get a little bit of that sensation of camping, but in a very comfortable environment.
I liked kind of a description of it was, it's what you get when you're in a deployment, just without the stress.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. That's really good. Yeah. I've had some of the guys talk about how they feel like that. They feel like they get the camaraderie that they feel, and that support that they know they have from each other when they're in that environment. But again, without any of the complications. So that's good. Yeah. It's a very special place, and it's been a blessing for us. And to be able to share it is, again, another blessing. And we don't just have veterans. I mean, we've had plumbers groups. We've had just various other corporate groups that come out, and it's just been wonderful.
And when you attend, do you see a change in people?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's amazing what 5 days does to someone. Again, it's just, I mean, we had a group of couples. There were 3 couples that came out, and one of them renewed their vows out there. Yeah, which is a little stressful because I'm not a preacher, and I'm Catholic, so I had to call my priest and go, hey, can I do this? Can I even legally, is the church going to be upset? Is this something that I should or shouldn't do?
Because they can't just drive over.
Look, they're already married, buddy. You're just helping them,
Who better?
Yeah, and so we did, and it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. Oh. So that's what we want to accommodate everyone that comes to have the greatest experience that they've ever had.
Yeah.
Great food, great company. And again, learn a little bit. We do our best to educate them. It's not a survival school by any means, but we do, for those that don't have it and are interested in it, we have basic survival skill sets that they can learn, like how to start a fire. I'm always amazed at how many people have never started a fire.
Never.
Some people have never started a fire with a lighter, I found out. Like never literally started a fire. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Much less with flint and stone.
I was thinking flint, and I was like, okay.
And my son teaches them how to do it with stick and string. Oh, so it's fascinating, and it's a lot of fun. And I teach spoon. We have a half a day of spoon carving. I show them how to take a piece of wood that they would burn in the wood stove, and I show them how we split it and cut it up and carve it, and they take home a wooden spoon that they make.
What? How did you learn that?
I don't know. I don't remember. It's one of the many worthless knowledge things that I have in the back of my
stored
head.
back there in the catalog.
Honestly, I started that when my son died. I took almost a year off, and I can remember going out to the barn and crying in my little shop. And I just started one day. I just started whittling, no pun intended.
Yeah.
And ended up making a bowl or a spoon, and then that led to doing it another day. And before you know it, I was making them left and right.
Yeah, like you were processing.
Yeah.
And using your hands in a creative way to do it.
Yeah, it's imperative. I tell people all the time, especially those who are hurt, don't stop moving. Maintain motion, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. That's the healer. We die when we stop, and we die. Our spirit, our faith dies when we stop praying, when we stop worshiping. Our energy dies when we stop exercising and moving. You got to keep moving.
Yeah.
And accept pain.
Ooh.
Pain is imperative.
That's hard.
It is hard.
The natural innate reaction is to
fight,
flight, or freeze.
Pain is the builder. I mean, God was very clear. Christ was clear in the Bible. This ain't gonna be easy. And I tell everyone that's one of my main philosophies in life. We must be willing to accept a certain level of pain in order to accomplish goals. And if you apply that to every aspect of your life, you will always win on the other end.
You'll know it's part of the journey.
It is part of the journey. And what I've also learned is the pain is not always for us. I mean, that's a terrible thing to understand and truly accept, but if you think about it, like Christ, the ultimate sacrifice, the pains that he took and absorbed for people who don't even care most of the time. Soldiers, they're willing to put themselves in harm's way, not just for themselves, but for others and for the freedom of our nation. When my son died, it broke me. It hurt. And I wrote this song that I never wanted anyone to hear. And every time I sing it, it hurts. But what I realize, in everything that we do, that pain that I feel that's not just for me. I'm absorbing that pain so that someone else can potentially heal in their loss. And that's what God does.
It's so selfless.
Well, I think most people have that in them, but somehow it's been so covered up, and society has said that we shouldn't feel pain. We shouldn't experience that. You can get better with medicine. You can feel better by not having to exercise. You can lose weight with this pill, and that's what we've done with a lot of things, including our emotional pain. It's okay. You should feel emotional pain. It's okay to cry. It's okay to hurt. You're supposed to do that. And again, might not be for you.
Yeah.
You're crying in the restaurant over there in the corner might be for the guy that was over in the other corner who's scared to cry.
Yeah, I've never. That's so the wisdom in that.
I'm old.
No.
No, I mean, I just say that because I know.
Yeah.
If ever God taught me a lesson, it was in that song, The Father, My Son, and the Holy Ghost. And I didn't want to sing it, but, and I do it. And the stories and what I've seen, that song, without any radio airplay at all, became the #1 most downloaded song of all genres 4 times in a row. Not because of me, but because of God and because of what he still does today with that song. Yeah.
It's helping people.
Yeah.
It's healing.
It's what he wanted. I don't want it, but it's what he wants. And I think we're supposed to follow him as best we can.
You're the conduit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So when word got out that you were coming on the podcast, my phone was blowing up. And people just wanted to share about how you've impacted their lives and how just wanted to talk about you. And one of them is a mutual friend, Matt, and he had to tell me about you. And I remember him, the version of Matt before and after he came to one of your retreats, and it impacted him, and he was different in a way. And the line that he shared with me was that the first line, and it was so clear, and he was very distinct about it, was that Craig is the real deal. That's what he said. That's it. And so what has kept you so grounded?
A lot of head injuries. In truth.
Is that my reason too?
I can't, well, here's the truth. I will not lie.
Okay.
Because I don't think that accomplishes anything long term. Even, now I'm not going to say that I haven't told and continue and will tell little white lies.
For self-preservation maybe or something?
Well, I mean, I'm married. I mean, does this shirt look good?
Fabulous.
Yes. I'm not going to go overboard, but yes. No, I think it's imperative that we have to be honest with each other and honest with ourselves. It's really just that simple. Honestly, you don't have to worry about it long term. I used to say, and a lot of people do, and I've heard a lot of soldiers and a lot of people in our industry and just in general say, I don't care what people think. I don't care what people think. I promise you've heard it a million times.
All the time.
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say because I don't care what people think. Well, I do, and I think most people do care what other people think. But what I have come to learn and what I feel and what I share with people is I do care, but only to the extent that I can affect it. Like if you don't like me, it's not going to be because I've been disrespectful or harmful or hatred. If you don't like me because of the way I look, that's on you, not me. If you don't like me because of the way I dress, that's on you, not me. I can't affect those things. But we should care about what other people think. We should care about other people's feelings and try to be kind. Again, that's, we're a Christian society for the most part. And what Christian means is an attempt to be Christ-like. So we should just try to be Christ-like and be kind and caring. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And I think as long as you're doing that, you're not going to win all the time. But again, we're not supposed to win all the time. Accept your losses and try to be better the next time. That's it. It's just that simple. And when I say all this, I made a lot of mistakes and continue to make mistakes. And sometimes I say things I shouldn't. I know that. I get angry just like everybody else and do stupid stuff. But, we try to do better the next time. It's just that simple.
Your awareness that it's not about perfection.
No, we should seek perfection.
Okay.
That's like the old term, practice makes perfect. And that's wrong. That's an incorrect statement. Perfect practice makes perfect.
Right.
So when you're not achieving perfection, you just keep trying. But I don't think that that we should ever allow the journey to seek perfection. Don't allow failure to stop you from trying.
Got it.
Yeah.
Because it's bound to happen. It's part of the journey.
It's going to happen. We should also be realist in that journey, and understand that we're not all meant to do certain things. That's where being realistic with yourself, and again falling back on that term, being honest with yourself and knowing one's capabilities and limitations.
Yeah.
It helps you to seek that perfection that you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I didn't intend on being here. I wasn't supposed to be a singer in my life. In my world, that ain't what I planned on being.
I think that's still crazy.
I mean, sometimes I think it's crazy that I'm still here. I do. I swear to you. Like I was supposed to be a police officer, a sheriff in some small town. Maybe.
Have you heard yourself?
I mean, I know that's what I'm saying. And I look back and go, man, God did this.
Yeah.
This is where He wanted me. And every time I thought I'm done, now I can go do what I want to do, what I think I should be doing. He did something else, and I've just tried with every fiber that's in me to be where He wants me to be. And every time I do that, I end up here. So that doesn't mean to say that I may not be here years to come. Who knows? I don't know.
You're just going where He guides you. That's it. Yeah. So you've also, in addition to helping with the retreats in Alaska, you've also performed free concerts through the Gary Sinise Foundation through our arts and entertainment program. What was that like?
Anytime we get to perform for the service members, it's a blessing. It's a treat.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're standing up there, I've been on the receiving end. I remember being in Korea. Oh yeah, I remember being in Korea and Sawyer Brown came. And I remember standing out there listening to Sawyer Brown, and I remember that feeling. I mean, just clear as if it's happening right now. Coming out of this Quonset hut that we were living in, going to this stage in this brand new country band, and standing there listening to it, and it made me feel like for just a few minutes I remembered home, and I remembered that feeling of coming out of the house and going down someplace. You know what I mean? It made me think of home. Wow. And now I'm on the other side of that, and I get to deliver that and hopefully deliver that and try real hard to let those men and women that are serving and are away from home especially know that our country cares about them and is remembering them.
Yeah. What advice would you give to a veteran or a service member, in fact, who is thinking about going into the music industry post-service?
I I've run across this a lot.
Have you?
Oh yeah, man. I'm a songwriter, and you're my inspiration. I want to do what you did.
Yeah, you're the mentor.
And I'm like, two things. One, it's a business, so make sure you're meant to be in that business. And if not, do it because you love it. And if God wants you to be there, it'll happen. If He don't, you'll be doing it because you love it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But then find you an occupation.
Find something else that might be.
I mean, ultimately, we all got to make money. We got to make a living.
Survive.
So figure out, that's exactly right. So find out what it is you're good at that you can make a living at. And if you just love music, but you can't make a living at it, love it and do it.
Then it's not.
Have fun with it.
Then you're just.
I know guys that are weekend warriors. They go out every weekend playing bars and stuff, and they love it and they're having fun of it. But they know that they may never achieve national success.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong.
No.
Ooh, I like that. That it's not about getting to the top. It's just if you love it, whatever you're doing, you're just doing it.
Whatever if you're trying to get at the top, you should be trying to get it to the top of what it is you're making money at.
True.
Make a living.
Yeah.
Make a great living for your family and your friends. And if you're so fortunate as someone like Gary or even myself that gets to employ other people in whatever occupation it may be, that's what you do. You know, that's wonderful. I'm just a guy who's fortunate enough and blessed enough to be able to do it in the music. But I'm just going to tell you, if it wasn't the music, I'd be doing something else. I've got other companies that we do things and we've been successful. We employ people.
I'm not surprised.
But do what?
I said I'm not surprised.
But it ain't like this. but it's where God wants me. But if you love music, you should play with it. You should do that. If you love golf, you should play with that and do that. Whatever it is, wherever your passion is. There's a lot of guys that play golf that'll never be PGA golfers, right? They go every weekend. Some guys go during the week and they love it so much, but they'll never be PGA golfers. Nothing wrong with that. Go do it.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. So your latest album, American Soundtrack, is available now. Tell us about that.
So it's a collection of songs, 6 songs. I wrote or co-wrote 5 of the 6. Oddly enough, one of my favorites is the one I didn't write. It would have to be for me to record it.
Yeah.
But it's a compilation of songs that I really feel like a lot of my projects all fall on the cornerstones of the 3 most important things in my life: God, family, country, and the 3 things that I think are most important to the general populace within our country. I think, middle America is built on the backs of the people that I believe hold those 3 things close and near and dear. Some in different orders. For me, it's God, family, country. And that's what my music has kind of always been about. But this here really, this is the icing on the cake, I feel like. And the title cut, American Soundtrack, when you look back on your life, you can probably think of various moments. And those moments, if a song was playing, that song is forever embedded in that moment.
Totally.
Yeah. And people say, oh, that song impacted me because this happened. I said, no, that was happening. That song just happened to be playing.
Ding, ding, ding. Yep.
And I just want my songs to be playing when those moments happen in people's lives so that they remember them.
Yeah.
And that's what the American Soundtrack title cut is all about. And it talks about all these songs that people will remember.
Yeah.
And they'll relate to certain points in their lives. We could literally just about probably lay our lives out through songs.
Through songs.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's what the American Soundtrack is about.
Okay, so what was the inspiration? Was that the inspiration behind that?
No, I'm not that smart. Really not. We were writing songs, and my goal in what I do as a professional entertainer is to always write, sing, produce, and record music that the general populace of our demographic will buy.
Okay.
I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah.
If I'm not recording music that people want to hear and buy and come see us sing, then why am I here?
Yeah.
I'm not doing it just for me. I'm doing it for them, and I want them to do that. That's how it always starts for me. And then once we get a bunch of songs recorded, then you look at it and go, how did this happen? What brought all these songs together? Something was emotionally happening with me, my producer, my fellow writers, that made all these songs kind of work together. What was it? And when we recorded American Soundtrack, we went, holy cow, all of these songs are about American Soundtrack. Who I'm from. That's a soundtrack from your life. country education. It's a soundtrack. It's a song about people who celebrate the country lifestyle and that education that we get as country people.
Oh yeah.
Blue Collar Prayer. It's a song about people in middle class America and their different lives and their prayers. All of these songs are are about that.
Yeah.
God's Problem, the one song I didn't write, even that song is about a lot of people. And I think about the impact that guys like Jelly Roll is having. A guy who's been so honest about his life and the impact that guy's having on people's lives impacted me. I'm much older than that guy and been at this for a lot. And he told me told everybody the story about what Almost Home meant to him. And in telling that story, it moved me. And it made me think, I don't want to be one of God's problems. I want to be a guy that's having a positive impact just like he's having.
Yeah.
All of these songs are soundtracks to our lives, I think.
They absolutely are. And
but we didn't do that until after we recorded.
that's crazy.
Oh, yeah. We do the same thing every time.
Okay, because I was going to ask you, so I was re-listening to the album while I was traveling here from Colorado, and your music seems to reflect and highlight like the strength and grit of America. And so I was wondering, like, why that was important to you. But now I'm not so sure. Did that come first? Did the music come first, and then?
I don't know, but I hope everybody repeats that quote. Because I pray to God when I'm dead, and all these people are looking at that they remember me as being a first and foremost follower of God and had confidence and faith in Him, but a sinner just the same, and a lover and protector of my family, and loyal and dedicated to my country.
Yeah.
This is the greatest nation in the world.
Absolutely.
We should never lose sight of that, and we should celebrate it at every opportunity. And we should never lose sight of what our forefathers had intended. We have the greatest constitution of any country in the world that still holds very true today, and we should celebrate that. And I hope that people would remember me for those things.
Yeah.
And so if that comes through in my music, then I've accomplished something that God intended for me to do.
It does. It does. So do you have a favorite song on the album?
It's so weird because it changes based on my moods and my emotion.
Yeah, I can. I
Sometimes I catch myself singing, God's Problems, and I get emotional about it. And then I might sing. I'll be listening to something, or someone will send me something, a little snippet of Blue Collar Prayer. There's this thing kind of semi-going viral right now. I don't know what viral dictates something going viral, but my management showed me a Blue Collar Prayer of pregnant women, because there's a line in the song that says, under her loose clothes, little Junior's starting to show. And these women are putting pictures and videos to that part of the song. It's like, man, it just hammers me.
I cry every time I hear that song.
It just kills
your
me.
lyrics.
So that one sometimes, kind of hits me. I think it really depends on my mood and where I'm at and what's going on. Still today, after all these years, Almost Home. When I'm singing on stage sometimes and I look out and, I've been on this tour with Blake and they're singing so loud I can't hear myself, and it just blows me away. Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine. It's beautiful. All right, so looking back on your career, what stands out as the most memorable or rewarding moment? I know this is a hard one.
It's really not that hard for me.
Okay.
When I was asked to be a member of the Grand Ole Opry. The Grand Ole Opry, in my opinion, is one of the cornerstones. It's one of the foundation pieces within our format. You can go anywhere in the world and ask people to say 3 to 5 things about country music, and inevitably, the Grand Ole Opry will be brought up in that. So it's an iconic heritage place within our format. There have been more people climb Mount Everest than there have been made members of the Grand Ole Opry.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, so that's how big that is.
That is putting it into perspective.
So to be a part of that group of people is a very humbling thing. I will never forget, and we did it, again, a God thing. I was filming a TV show called Back to Bragg at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where I was stationed at one point, where my oldest son was born. And we're filming the show, and John Conley walks up and invites me to be a member of the Grand Ole Opry there. So that will forever be embedded in. And what I remember most was I remember just absolutely losing it and breaking down in tears and crying like a little ugly face.
I was going to ask, what was your reaction?
Oh, I broke down and cried. And I thought, God, as I was on my knees, going, oh, I'm so embarrassed, and, right here, home of the 82nd Airborne Division, home of Special Forces community, the Delta Force, for God's sakes. And I look over, and all of these special operators from the Special Forces and a bunch of my friends from the community were over there. And I look over, and they're all crying. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm okay. These guys have killed more people than smallpox, and they're crying. I'm good. I'm confident.
They're rejoicing.
Yeah, they were rejoicing. I think they were as proud of that moment as I was, and it made me very proud.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've impacted them too. So, well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Craig. I cannot thank you enough. From your military career to your music career, you are a true inspiration. And American Soundtrack is out there streaming. Listen, everybody go take a listen. And as we do with every podcast episode, Mac will close out the show.
You've been listening to GSF Podcast, the official podcast of the Gary Sinise Foundation. If you'd like to find out more about what the foundation is up to, or if you'd like to make a donation, please visit GarySiniseFoundation.org. Make sure to tune in next time for more interviews, and thanks for joining us.